Speaking of bonds, here's my bonds listing, and we've been recommending since April of 2010. Ron, how many years is that?
15.
15 years. We've been recommending all of you have your certification through bonds. And just because you're certified with bonds, they do not create a profile for you here. So I definitely recommend, if you're bond certified, you have to go in and create your own page. We have a video on our YouTube channel on how to do that. So some of you might be going, well, where should I have my certificate? Where should I have information about me? Everywhere you can. It's like, I'm not telling you to do this, but it's kind of fun when you go into Google and you Google your name and you find all the different places that your name shows up. And for some of you, it might not be anywhere, but then in others, it might be hundreds of places, thousands of places. So just kind of keep that in mind, that's there. I definitely recommend all of you, if you do have a bonds page and you do have a SST page, I would recommend all of you go into your calendar, whether it's your paper calendar or a calendar device on your, whether like a Google Calendar or something like that, and just maybe put in there once a year, go check out your pages that have your up about you, and just go in once a year, twice a year, go check that it's got current information, and things like that. So just keep that in mind.
You should always try to keep your online presence, no matter where it is, accurate. Because some people, like I was researching a doctor one time, and somebody told me, oh, you should go to this doctor or whatever. And so I looked, and I found basically like 10 years of information about that person. And it's like, well, you know, that she's not even at that address anymore. Why, and so that's one of the things that professionals have a tendency not to do. And guess what? It's the most important thing to do is keep your online presence current.
Yeah, it's actually it's terrible when information gets put in a black and white, like on a website, on a TV commercial, and it's the wrong information. I'll give you an example. Tara used to work at a used bookstore in Frankenmuth, the next town over. Frankenmuth is a gigantic, I'm sorry, gigantic's the wrong word. It's a serious tourist destination. People literally come from all over the world to go just to Frankenmuth. One, for people that celebrate Christmas, they have a Christmas store there called Bronner's. It's the
Huge.
it's the largest Christmas store in either the whole world or just in America. It's
No,
one of
I
the
think it's
other.
North America
Okay.
is the claim. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the billboards, but anyways, so Tara worked at this bookstore, and there was also a local internet provider, because Frankenmuth's right on the edge of what we call the thumb of Michigan, and the thumb of Michigan is like the redheaded stepchild of the state. It's a beautiful part of the state, but it doesn't have usually all the best services because there's a lot less people that live there. So
There's
since
not much there.
yeah,
It's
so yeah,
remote.
there's not much there except the absolute ton of coastline that people
Yeah.
enjoy. But anyway, so there's an internet provider for the thumb, and they put down on their TV commercials the phone number for the bookstore that Tara worked at. So somebody didn't double check. So they got so many phone calls at the bookstore. Is this thumb internet or something? Because that's actually a lot of businesses that have the word thumb in it over on the thumb. But it was like, nope, nope, this is a bookstore. Okay, now speaking of updated stuff, I did want to make a comment. When we talk about the bonds certification, Ron and I just want to go over a couple of important reasons why you need to keep your bonds certification up to date. Now, Ron and I had both kind of written down some things, but Stephanie did a great job throwing down a bunch of bullet points for us. So just to kind of go down these bullet points, number one, Ron and I can go back and forth. Ensuring competency and quality of care. When your clients know that you're annually keeping up with your certification, that like, again, it ensures that competency and quality of care. That's a great impression to give your clients.
Staying current with advances. Now, the stress management biofeedback field is constantly evolving with new research, new practices, new technologies emerging. Certification requirements help practitioners to stay abreast of these advancements, ensuring they provide the most effective and up-to-date care. And that's so true with, like, think about our software. The software is constantly evolving, and if you're staying, up with your training, then you are a more competent practitioner because you're using the more advanced software and the more advanced practices.
Yeah, we were going through the list there, the speakers in Mallorca. Harina lives in Toronto. She actually is a practitioner, but she's also a instructor at the medical college there in Toronto. Dr. Zita in Budapest has written multiple books, and she's a practicing medical doctor there in Hungary. And then Dr. Benita down from South Africa, she's a doctor down there. So it's kind of neat when you can tell people, hey, I was just at this current training event, and we had different doctors and instructors teaching. It was pretty cool. It wasn't just this fluffy wellness coach from Michigan. So number three, public trust and confidence. It is really nice perception when people come in your office and you do have paper on the wall and that you can show that your certification is up to date.
And there's benefits for clients when a client is doing research on who they're going to go and work with. Certification is seen as an indicator of the practitioner's experience. Well, why? Because of their training, because they're certified, because they've gone through a certain process to get that certification. And what we just said about your online presence, there's a lot of people who trust the internet now. And so, when they go there and they search for that, they're going to pick somebody who's certified over somebody who's not. If there's two practitioners in an area that are advertising online, which one would you go to? The one who's certified or the one who isn't?
Another one is just the recertification requirements that people go, what does it take to get recertified? You can explain them. You have to have 20 hours of continuing education credits, and that shows that you're investing in your continued education and you're continuing to invest in your just overall effectiveness of being a practitioner.
Yeah, and to go along with all of that, maintaining professional credentials helps to main, you know, keep you getting opportunities, and um, uh, it just shows that you're maintaining your position in being a professional.
And lastly, I just wanted to, the one that for me is an additional one that I wanted to add is just it's better to maintain it's to maintain annually your certification. You wouldn't want to go to someone who let their certification slide 4, 5, 7, 15 years ago. Uh, Debbie was just telling Ron, hey, this one lady reached out to you. Ron hadn't talked to this person in 10 years. So it's just an interesting perception, and that can be, another way of saying perception is what kind of a taste are you leaving in people's mouth.
Yeah. Now, another thing, certification for biofeedback is not a requirement in any state. Okay, it's not a requirement by the state. However, when you think about the medical profession as a whole, when you look at all things, health and wellness related, um, all of the other licenses that the states are providing, every practitioner who has a state issued license has to go through training every year to keep those or competencies up and current. So why shouldn't we do the same thing if we want to be regarded as professional? We should. It's going to not only help us out, but it's going to prove to our clients that you know, we put a value on our education.
And then lastly, if any of you, or if any of you know a practitioner that has really let things slide and it's been a while since they were certified, we do have an SST course, the Stress Management Specialist Diploma, and that so they can come onto the website and purchase that program and then go through all that updated training that we've done. We did all the videos last year, but Ron and I are also in the process of updating them. Updating the Seriously Smart session right now. I'm halfway through, but that will be updated as well with the latest software. So, anyways,
Yeah,
reason
and the other thing about the diploma, Fernando, is that we also include the certification. We actually submit everything to the board, and we go through that process for you, so it makes things easier for a person because we've done all the hard work, so to speak, after the training.
there you go. We just recommend you guys keep your certification up to date, and if you've not ever been certified, well, some of you have been working towards it. So let this be your 2025 kick in the butt.